Matthew Downing was a little boy in California. At the age of 5.5 months, he received 8 vaccines on the same day. HIV, hepatitis B, hepatitis A, DPT, polio, and several others. His behavior changed immediately. He became fractious, he became irritable, and that lasted for 48 hours, and then he died. For those of you who have concerns about vaccine safety, that will reinforce your position. For those of you who trust in the CDC and the pharmaceutical industry, look after your best interests, then you will say that that was coincidence, or that that death was acceptable collateral in the war on infectious disease. Let me put one thing to bed immediately. The medical history confirms that it was not coincidence, that his immunization and his death were a continuum linked by his change in behavior. It was not a coincidence. Here is the problem. Here is the real problem at the heart of this, and that is never in the history of this planet has there ever been any safety study of that combination of vaccines. But here's the problem. The doctor refused to accept that the death caused by a nurse in his office was a vaccine injury. Therefore, it never went down in the record as a vaccine injury, thereby contributing to our continued ignorance about vaccine safety. Not only that, because it was not, in the opinion of doctors, a medical injury, a vaccine injury, the parents were put on a high-risk register, whether they know it or not, for potentially dangerous and violent parents. So here's the irony. Crystal Downing, Matthew's mother, is pregnant again. And if these bills pass in California, then when that child is born, she will have no choice, zero choice, but to expose her new child to the vaccines and kill her previous child. That is the dilemma she faces. And if she refuses, which she should rightfully do, which for medical reasons she should do, her child will be taken away from her, particularly because she's already on a high-risk register for abusive or potentially abusive parents. And she will never see that child again, except perhaps his ashes in an urn. What part of that justice do you want in Texas? None. What part of that justice do you want in this state? No! That is what will happen if you allow this bill to pass, if you allow these bills to go through. You will be deemed unfit parents, your children will be taken away, and they will be forcibly vaccinated with all of the vaccines they had not yet had. One time, without any safety study ever in the history of this planet. All because of the interests of a group of corporate carpetbaggers from the state of Pennsylvania and New Jersey. All because of their bottom line. The question I must ask you is, are you going to allow that to happen in this state? No! Thank you.